Hey, Jon.
Hey, Eric. How you doing tonight?
It's been an interesting day. It's a long day.
It has been an interesting couple of days, that's for sure. Oh man, and I am beat. So I'm already half asleep, I think. So if I say anything dumb, I'll put it off to that.
Well, or we'll just edit it out. My new favorite thing to say. Well,
Right.
On that note, I think maybe we just try a shortened grab bag of random things that caught my eye over the last couple weeks, and we can chat about those.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm to be honest, I've got almost nothing in the can because I've basically been in offsites and things like that, meetings all day, and not a lot of reading time.
It's all good. So the first one I was just going to bring up, which I think is interesting, is the flaw in your Apple App Store preferences. And it's not a big deal. It's just, I think it's somewhat humorous and interesting. If you have a Mac and you go into your system preferences and you load your App Store preferences, there's a little lock icon down in the bottom left.
Oh, yeah. I know this. Yeah, go ahead.
In the security settings, you lock that, so you have to have an extra layer of authentication to go in and change the network settings or file vault or anything like that. Things that are users, and it's like an extra layer of, hey, make sure you're doing this. So anyways, in the App Store preference pane on your Mac, there's the same little lock icon. If you want to check for automatic updates or download newly available updates in the background, install app updates, things like that, you can automatically do that with checkboxes. Well, if you click the little lock down in the lower left hand corner to prevent further changes, what's supposed to happen is when you click on that lock, it drops down to click the lock to make changes. You click it to unlock it, and it pops down, say, hey, we're trying to unlock this. Enter your username and password, like it's supposed to. The interesting thing with the App Store preference pane only is that it really doesn't matter what you type in the username and password field. You just click unlock, and it will go. It really doesn't care. It's just one of those things where somebody missed a checkbox on a release somewhere, or fudged a report somewhere, because it's glaringly obvious.
How do you even have it unlocked though without doing any sort of validation? You'd think that would be a common bit of code that if requires authentication on the outside of the security settings pane or something like that. But that really implies that each one of the settings panes is doing a bunch of work independently, whether it's duplicating code or not. Somehow they're not the same code path.
Yeah, that I actually hadn't thought of that aspect. I looked at it and thought maybe someone had thought it would be a good idea to put that lock icon there, but then decided not to, and accidentally left the lock icon on, but didn't implement the other stuff. And the lock icon launches whatever thing it's supposed to launch, which is probably the shared code, but the code in that preference pane to actually verify that it was true or false before showing or hiding the page, not showing or hiding, it's enabling or disabling the checkboxes, wasn't checking it. So that was my guess at what probably happened there.
Yeah.
Anyways, just some fun with your Mac.
That is fun. It's not really related, but going from secure coding, what's it take to kind of keep up on secure, writing secure code is continued diligence, and that is very analogous to a lot of conversations we had this week with from Jim about some of the performance stuff, and because it's a similar situation, and we actually I used at least secure coding as an analogy on keeping up with the, some of the performance aspects of writing code, because it's like entropy or something like that. Without constant vigilance, the code will degrade to where it's unusable until somebody pays attention to, maybe I better pay attention to more than just functionality, the actual performance characteristics of something. That whole notion of quality, continued devotion to quality is something that it's hard to maintain.
Exactly. If you release something, it's out there for a long time, whether you want it to be or not.
Exactly.
So
some of these cloud guys, man, they've got it made. They've only got to update their slow roll, and once that's done, another one tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
All right. Well, so that one. Anyone who's listening who has a Mac, go try that for fun. All right, grab bag number 2.
Okay, hit me.
Stripe.
Payment.
Yes, the online payment service. They are incredibly developer friendly, and they make being able to take credit cards if you're in e-commerce or want to do any kind of e-commerce on the internet. They make that incredibly easy, very developer and API focused.
They did such a good job, and such a hard problem, and they just made, they were the darlings of, I don't know, was it 2012, 2013?
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so they, I think back in 2014, trying to stay ahead of the curve, started accepting Bitcoin payments. They were one of the first to kind of make accepting Bitcoin real easy. Just code that in and check a box, and you can now accept Bitcoin payments. The interesting thing that they released today is they are going to stop supporting Bitcoin as a payment. And their reasoning was actually interesting. Was they had hoped, or in the blog post on this, they said they had hoped Bitcoin could kind of become this alternative transaction. They had bought into the original belief of what Bitcoin could do for people, decentralized, easy, fast, peer-to-peer payments, low fees, but that has not been the case. And easier to just read what they said. This has led to Bitcoin becoming less useful for payments. Transaction confirmation times have risen substantially, and in turn has led to an increase in the failure rate of transactions denominated in fiat currencies. By the time the transaction's confirmed, fluctuations in Bitcoin price mean that it's for the wrong amount, and the fees have risen.
Yeah, it's a tsunami of bad for the intended purpose.
Yeah, and so they talk about the Bitcoin transactions are now about as expensive as wire transfers, at least for them, and from a company who that's all they do is process payments, as quickly and cheaply as possible. That says something about Bitcoin as a technology.
But they didn't move to like Bitcoin Cash or something like that, right? Which has a small, a shorter transaction time. I mean, I think that one of those other alternate currencies is really kind of waiting in the wings for a Genesis event like that.
Yeah, so they did comment on. They said we are still optimistic on cryptocurrencies, and they're watching a lot of the other things. They actually mentioned Bitcoin Cash. They mentioned Litecoin, Ethereum, and a few others. One that they've actually apparently provided seed funding to. This was the killer statement, I think, in the whole blog post. Bitcoin has evolved to become better suited to being an asset than being a means of exchange.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Wow. Yeah.
Anyways.
And it's a terrible asset, though, too. Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So anyways, I found that very interesting. We'll see if that affects the Bitcoin price at all, or if that elevates some of the other, like you mentioned, Bitcoin Cash or some of these others which have the lower transaction fees and faster settlement times.
I mean, the settlement time is more important than almost anything else, I think. Because especially for an online payment processor, imagine going to Amazon and saying, buy this now, and then wait 10 minutes. Or, sure, okay, we're going to make it asynchronous. Okay, your order has been placed, and then 10 minutes later, your order is confirmed, or I'm sorry, we were sold out.
Yeah.
It'll take 10 minutes for the refund to happen.
Yeah, or, yes, we got your Bitcoin. However, in the 10 minutes from when we were able to do that, Bitcoin dropped, so you owe us another, X amount.
Right. Yeah.
You have to overpay for everything and have them refund the difference.
No, thank you. All right, you had one other funny Bitcoin related thing though.
Yeah, so in 2014, the rapper 50 Cent let people buy his album using Bitcoin. And apparently he forgot about this account and now discovered he's a Bitcoin millionaire. So at the time in 2014 when he was letting people buy his album with Bitcoin, he pulled in roughly $400,000 and now said that he discovered it's now worth somewhere between $7 million and $8.5 million based on the fluctuating Bitcoin price.
So it would have been 12 to 15 last week. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Wow.
Anyways, Bitcoin is never-ending stories about cryptocurrencies now.
I don't know. Remember last April when you gave me $5?
Oh yeah. How much is that?
Hold on, let me give you a real time because that is the only cryptocurrency I actually own. $21.49.
You're buying lunch tomorrow.
I'm gonna have to buy you lunch at some point, but then I'm gonna cash that in. So who knows? That's funny, but yeah, 4x since. In the 8 or 9 months. Wish you would have sent me $1,000.
Oh yeah.
That's funny.
All right. Grab bag number 3.
Well, I'll give you one. Kind of break them up a little bit here. Although I must say that I read it quickly in passing, and so I didn't get a chance to truly understand it. I guess I would say, but. Did you read Linus's rant on the Intel fixes?
Oh, yes.
Because Intel pulled, or at least recommended not deploying their firmware patches today.
Yeah, I don't remember the context. I read someone had taken his rant and editorialized it. What's the right word for that? They kind of did a bunch of pull quotes. That's what he said. I'll have to find that.
And what it means.
Yes, and what this actually means.
You gotta send that to me. I need the Cliff Notes. Is that what you mean? Like the Cliff Notes version? That'd be great. It was. He is known for his epic rants. I mean, he's gone on more than a few of them in the however many years he's been there.
Yes,
but at least one irony to me is Intel pays him, right?
I don't know.
He is I don't know if it's employee or scholar or fellow or whatever it is but the open source, Intel open source, something I'm pretty sure is one of the, I thought that he was, technically a stipended or paid by Intel. So, but I have to look that up. See if I'm misremembering that. We'll either get a nice link or cut this out of the show notes.
Yeah, exactly.
But that rant was pretty epic about it basically being a terrible thing to do. In terms of how they were patching the microcode instructions,
and how it reflects a complete lack of understanding of how stuff works.
Yeah.
Which was interesting, the software guy telling the hardware guy they don't know how their stuff works.
It was one of those things that I only read it once. I only had time to read it once. It was during a 5-minute break yesterday. I think it's something that probably needs to be read a couple times, at least if you're not as close to it as I am.
Yeah.
All right. What grab bag number 3?
So grab bag number 3 will go slightly political.
Uh-oh.
I just thought it was funny because Burger King seems to be out trying to do various random things. They had the Whopper coin getting on the blockchain bandwagon. Now they're taking on net neutrality. They created an experiment. There's a video. We'll link to the video.
I got to see this.
Where basically they have Whopper neutrality. And you can go up and you can purchase a Whopper for $4.99 or whatever it is. But it'll take 20 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever it is to be delivered to you. If you pay, I don't remember the exact numbers, but if you pay $15, you can get your Whopper in 8 or 9 minutes. And if you pay $26, we'll give you your Whopper right now. They didn't tell people this. They had the sign up above and people would order, I want the fast Whopper or the slow Whopper or the medium Whopper or whatever. And everybody was ordering the slow Whopper because it was the cheapest. And they're like, it's a Whopper. And then I'm sure they had actors come in and order the fast Whopper and walk up, get their Whopper really fast. And people were irate that, hey, I'm number 1 and I'm number 95 and that guy is number 7. I should have been way before him. Things like that. So, anyways, it was an interesting video. Yeah, and then they were encouraging guests to sign the net neutrality petition on change.org.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah. Oh, their statement was, "We believe the internet should be like Burger King restaurants, a place that doesn't prioritize and welcomes everyone."
Very nice.
Almost makes me want to go have a Whopper.
That is just a little bit political. Although I presume anybody who listened to this will be firmly in the pro net neutrality bandwagon.
Yes.
Didn't I read? I just think I just saw a headline, but there was a state. Was it Wisconsin or Michigan? Declared that no provider of services to the government. You can't provide internet services to the government unless you honor net neutrality.
I haven't seen that.
There was the first state to pass a law like that. We'll have to dig up a link. I hadn't intended on mentioning that, but we can dig up a link.
Well, there you go.
It would be nice if I remembered what state it was, but again, I can't use my keyboard because it's so clicky. It is a lovely keyboard,
and I can't edit that out.
That's okay.
Well, I could edit it out if you didn't talk. Because I just silence your whole track.
It's all good. It's all good.
All right.
We'll look it up. So got something
fun.
Something fun.
Do you want me to go first?
I don't know. Here, I'll go first. You did the last thing here. We'll semi-alternate. I don't remember how this came up this week, but my thing is SymPy, and maybe this is like old news, but it's sympy.org, symbolic Python. But basically, you can type out equations and things like that, and then solve for them symbolically. So if you want to do your calculus homework, solving differential equations or integrals or any sort of linear algebra, but symbolically, you can do it with SymPy. How cool is that?
Huh.
You're like, why in the world would I need to do something symbolically? That's okay.
Well, I'm trying to picture this in my head how it would work.
They even have like you can take and format it with LaTeX. So you can lay out a whole equation and then like solve, do steps and solve them, and then basically print them to LaTeX and for insertion into your papers, which I'm sure is why this exists in the first place, is college math papers. But I thought that was a pretty doggone cool Python library. And yes, I don't do a lot of symbolic calculation these days. But in my head, I can still do physics. So it's cool.
Well, gee,
so I told you I would surprise you, right? And you're like, yeah, that was totally out of left field.
Well, now my something goofy fun seems very unflattering to me now.
Whoops.
So
I should have let you go first, huh?
No, my something goofy fun was, John, I gave up on RSS feeds a while ago, and basically Twitter is now my RSS feed. I subscribe to things to.
I have not yet given up on RSS. RSS forever. I'm gonna be the person like chanting all by himself. Like
you're gonna have to start developing your own reader.
Give me my no, because I'm watching what's his name up at Omni write his evergreen in open source. Yeah. I don't know.
Anyways.
And ironically, I'm subscribing to his posts in my RSS feed reader. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm still using Net News Reader. I think is what I use. Net News Wire. All right, sorry. Okay, you gave up on RSS like the cool hip young kid you are. leaving
with
me
gray
back
hair
in the
and a
old
beard.
Back in the old RSS reading old fogies camp.
I don't follow a lot of funny, goofy things, or I don't follow things on Twitter for the social or the entertainment aspect, but except for one. It's my guilty pleasure on Twitter, which I find somewhat hilarious and sad at the same time. And the Darwin Awards, I'm sure you've heard of those.
Of course.
As anyone has. There is a Twitter account. It's at Awards Darwin. It's just a parody account. They just find weird things on the internet, and they're mostly videos or GIFs. Today's was hilarious. It was called Never Fight Nature, and there's a guy in a tractor trying to pull a tree out of the ground. And I can see you doing this, Jon.
Oh God.
Sitting on your tractor, trying to pull a tree out of the ground. You just have to watch the video.
Okay, I will.
The tree whacks the guy on the head as he pulls out. It pulls the tractor up, and anyways, it's hard to describe.
Oh gosh. No, you're probably thinking of me because remember, I can tell this story maybe. When we first moved into our new house a couple years ago, we bought those and built these. Run-in sheds. My wife has horses, and so we built a couple of run-in sheds, or pasture. You might call them pasture barns or pasture sheds, and they're basically, they've got 3 walls and a roof. And me, being the smart engineer that I am, I decided that I wanted to have 2 of them side by side, and and so I actually put them side by side, got them all nicely leveled, and then ran super long stringers, so they're 12 feet wide by themselves, and so I did 12 feet and then like a 6-foot aisleway in between and then another 12 feet. So it was basically, what is that? 24 plus 6, so 30-ish feet wide. And they were great. Got the roof totally on. Perfect. We had a windstorm. Just for future reference, if ever you're going to build a shed like that, you should make sure to anchor it well in the ground before you put the roof on. And because I kid you not, we went out the next day and the entire structure had flipped over onto the roof. and I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but you cannot unscrew a roof when the roof is flat to the ground. Like, this is just a metal roof. Yeah, it's not something easily done. So we did try. We tried tractors in series. So we have 2 tractors on the property, and we got 2 tractors out with big like tow cables, trying to like flip them back upright. And yeah, it didn't work. It did not work. I had to cut the roofs in half with a saw and disassemble the shelters upside down and take them and reassemble them. Yeah, it was, and the roof. Oh, that was the thing, because I couldn't get them to line up perfectly. There's no way, so I had to kind of flip them so the 2 roof halves that used to like touch now stuck out. So I have overhangs out on the far sides, on the 2 sides, and then I had to like build a small roof in between them. It was, but yes, you're right. I do try to be good to nature and not do things too terribly like that, but that was definitely, it could have very easily been a Darwin moment of something happening as we were trying desperately to pull to try to get the sheds to rotate back up. Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Well, you went highbrow with the symbolic
Dude,
Python.
check it out. It is totally awesome.
I'm going to now.
Yeah.
And I got you with some
I will subscribe to Awards Darwin. Now that I'm the hip Twitter person with my 2 followers. It's all good.
One of those is me, right?
I assume so. All right. Good to go. I'm punch drunk. I'm tired.
Yes. Get some sleep.
All right. Talk to you later.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.